Islam Moors. Today is June the 20th, 2019, and I am having my session outside on the patio today. I'm just chilling. See, I got the hat on and shit, trying to keep the sun from getting in my eyes. I figured I would just go on live and just continue to keep it real with you guys. Starting with this. Okay, and then the next thing is I wish I wish to bring to you the essential laws of the land. Okay, I want to say at no point and no time am I providing legal advice, because I am not providing legal advice. Okay. Um, what I do want to advise also is that these facts are all fact-based historical facts, historical knowledge, fact-based knowledge. Any point, anytime, you can look back at any of these and pull them right up in the PDF format for your protection. Also, I want to give one last disclosure, okay? Understanding who I am, for I am Tyler Ambrose Ali, coming to you from the territory now known as Sparks, Nevada. I do want to tell you that the following details that I am providing to you is what I provide whenever I am asked for either the 9-digit social number or an attempt to hypothecate me, contract with me, or violate me on my own soil. Okay, and I just also want to say that when I have provided these, whatever was originally requested for or asked for was no longer asked for when the following was provided. Thus, I would stand on my square. Okay, all right. So I hold them, which in them is the United States Service Corporation. Any corporation, okay, any corporation, court, corporation, police, corporation. Okay, just keep that in mind, people. All right. Islam. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the essentials, I hold them to. All right. The very first one. This is critical. This is fire. The Constitution for the United States of America. The date on that: December the 15th, 1791. And just know that the Service Corporation, they cannot circumvent the Constitution for the United States of America. Keep in mind, under the Service Corporation, the way how I understand it, they operate under the Constitution of the United States of America. You want to present and hold them to the Constitution for the United States of America. Again, December the 15th, 1791. All right. They had the pledge. Okay. They had to pledge the Constitution for the United States of America to have any, or to get any charters here at Morocco. So why wouldn't I use that to hold them to it? Okay. Number 2, and this is also that fire. The Declaration on the Rights of the Indigenous People. Okay. For here, when you look here, you'll also confirm your name change and nationality, that you can do this as much as you want. Number 3, the Declaration of Independence, July the 2nd, 1776. Okay. And the Declaration of Independence, better knowledge, more knowledge, the Declaration of Independence was there. They had the pledge through, and I may be saying it wrong, and I apologize, guys, but still, you're able to not listen to me and point to it and look it up yourself. But I misspoke a few seconds ago, okay? The Declaration of Independence, that was the United States Service Corporation. Their pledge was through the Constitution for the United States of America, okay? So we have the Constitution for the United States of America, the Declaration on the Rights of the Indigenous People, the Declaration of Independence. Next, the Articles of Confederation, November the 15th, 1777. The next item, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, June 23rd, 1787. Next, the Bill of Rights. The first 10 only, though. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 only. It's telling them what they can't do. All right, so look into that, guys. Next, which we're up to number 7 now. Number 7 is your nationality, declaring and proclaiming. Number 8, Declaration of Trust, which I reserve the right to not provide that to an employer, but it is an item that is of importance. Number 9, the Moorish American Consulate existence. Again, providing a tribal document that's sufficient of the existence of the Moorish American Consulate. Number 10, and I have a 10 and a 10A, but number 10 is natural, universal, and international law. I like to put those all under one umbrella. Okay? And then 10A, the Zodiac National Constitution. And last but not least, number 11, the Act of State Doctrine. All right, now let me just say something. Let me add to those, okay? You have those 11. If you want to be anal, it's really 12, but I said 10A, 10B for the purposes of how I present my claims and defenses. I just want to say that at no point at all, at any point am I ever saying that this is all you need. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when it pertains to this guy, when it pertains to Tyler Ambrose or Ali, or even the Nom de Guerre, which is James Aloysius Dennis Jr., whenever it applies to anything to do with either of those two pieces, the name James Aloysius Dennis Jr., that's listed as property, and then Tyler Ambrose Ali, the man, okay? When it pertains to anything, any presentments with those are the defenses that I use. Okay? And then I want to take a few seconds. And advise that from my fact-finding missions and my studying, there are a few specific charters that I am familiar that the United States Corporation operates under to this day. And for that, I say, stand on your square. To me, I say it's the art of war. And I'm not saying, that I'm at war with anybody, because I am not. I am utilizing specifically the specific reading, fact-finding of the art of war. And without elaborating too much, with just quickly just covering it, know thyself, know thy enemy, victory is assured yours. Or in my way, I would say, if I know my enemy, I mirror my enemy, and I know what I'm capable of and what I'm able to do and not do, how can I lose? Thus, standing on your square at all points in time. Why would I think, okay, these guys came to me with something that's not lawful. They have no bond or contract set forth other than just a name on a piece of paper. They never stated or provided their claim in writing. So if that is the case, and even if they did provide it in writing, it has no merit, it has no worth. Why wouldn't I respond with those organic laws? Why wouldn't I? You're holding me to something, now I'm holding you to, by default, the organic laws of this land. And it just so happens, even if your office that you received don't understand, I don't know, I didn't know we were in Morocco, this is the United States. Well, send it upstairs to floor 57. Even though your building is only 3 stories high, there is a floor 57. Metaphorically speaking, there's a floor 57. That means that's how high up these people are that understand what the hell is going on. That means you don't know shit. If you're like, oh, we don't even have a floor 57. Yes, the fuck you do. Even if it's downstairs, your corporation has a floor 57 that understands how to process the lawful presentments when they're provided by a Moor or a Moorish American national, a person in their correct status. Okay? So just chew on that. And again, like I said, from my fact finding, which I admit I spent a lot of time wanting to understand what to hold a corporation to, okay? To where I had a total of 11 essentials to hold them to, versus from what I'm understanding they operate under, I don't have that many. However, what I have, I feel, is a great start, and I rely on it. And when I advise them that don't you operate under, they usually drop the subject all entirely. So I feel like I'm going in the right direction. Also, I want to say something else, guys. Before I even realized that I am a Moor, this was years ago, from 2013 to present, I always did not use the social, the 9-digit number, unless it was just absolutely mandatory. And believe me when I tell you, the only time I ever used the social, that 9-digit number, until now, is whenever a employer asks for the form called I-9, the UC, is it the UCSIS form? Whatever, it's the I-9 form. That was the only document that I would ever provide that number. And whenever I provided that number and I marked national, they would always kick it back and say, why don't you change it to U.S. citizen? And admittedly so, back then, I did not stand on my square completely. I stood on my square by not providing that number to the employer or to the Internal Revenue. But when it came to the I-9 form, for some reason, I don't know why, I wasn't in my proper person. That's not an excuse. But for whatever reason, that was the only time I ever really used that number. Ever. When I would go to the doctor, or if I had to take a visit to the hospital or the emergency room, I always wrote religious objection or baby act. And if they pressed me about it, I have the item, but I choose to not use it. It's not mine. This was signed for me on my behalf, and I choose to not use it. It does not apply to me, and they generally drop it. All right, so what I'm familiar that corporations or the United States Service Corporation operates under is the Christian Black Codes of 1724, the Magna Carta Code, legalese and tricky wording, and I listed on here also the Act of State Doctrine. And where I listed that, I stated, we can remind them of the Act of State Doctrine whenever called into a tribunal. They are a corporation. That's what my exact notes say here. So what that means is there are other regiments, or whatever you want to call it, what doctrines that the corporation operates under. But I feel like I have a good start, a good basis to... It equivalates to don't fuck with me. You brought some bullshit and now I backhanded the fuck out of you, and that's what you get. Do you have any questions? Basically, that's how I present it. And in most instances, they don't. They still try to talk me out of it. And I'm like, well, okay. All right, well, then you're talking about money. Well, let's talk about the Federal Reserve Note Act of 1913. And at that point, I generally don't hear shit else. And I'll admit, with this affinity gaming, I let them believe that that's all that I'm going to come at them with. And when they're done processing the I-9 with those essentials that I provided, the 10 and 10A, all of those, I provided that for the background check. And the background check, they haven't mentioned shit else about it. For the I-9, I included a tribal document and my name declaration and my judicial notice, and wrote the I-9 up in my appellation, Tyler Ambrose, the first name and the last name Ali. Date of birth, I put the date of birth as the Nam de Gear, which was James Aloysius Dennis Jr. I went on ahead and listed the February the 7th, 1978. Where it asked for the U.S. social, I left it blank. The email, I wrote not applicable. And it asked for the date, and I put the date, June the 19th, because this was yesterday when this was submitted. And I believe... I want to say they ask you to sign it, and if they asked me to sign it, I'm sure I looked at it and signed it in my appellation. But the point is, everything was processed freely, free and clear of the Nam de Gear, free and clear. And I held them to these essentials, and I'm going to continue to do so. And I just want to point out to my audience to just take the time and research these essentials, as it is worth your time. It's worth your time. Believe me, even if it seems like, oh, right now, whatever, brother, I need money right now. The best advice that I could give to that is, yes, you need the money right now, but I can guarantee you a month from now, you utilize this and you go out there and you stand on your square. I guarantee you in a month from now, you won't have shit to stress about. You don't contract with the Internal Revenue when you start a new job. You know how to process the onboard packet. So that means you're working and you're receiving your full check. So that hundred and something dollars you used to not seeing, now you have it. What is the problem? You are on your way. Now you have more money to process and mail out your documentation to the correct offices when the time presents itself. That is what it's about. And in the meantime, it's not ideal for me, it's not pretty, but you might have to play that game. But at least if you're going to play that game, why not play it right? Why not be in your proper person? Why not have your appellation listed? Hell, let me tell it, providing them with a copy of the judicial notice and the name declaration, let me tell it, you're providing it to Homeland Security for the I-9 and to an employer. That's public notice. They operate in the public, don't they? And aren't you providing them notice? Shit, that's not gonna be on the record. People, you're not even realizing, just doing day-to-day stuff, you're standing on your square and you are establishing who you are and what you are and how you are going to operate, which is free and clear. Islam, I can't emphasize that. I can't emphasize that enough, guys. That's what it boils down to. And just me sitting here explaining to you what I do on a daily basis. I'm explaining to you guys, I've done this for years, before I even knew I was a Moor. Years, guys. Do you understand? Years. From 2013 to present, that's at least 6 years, at least. And I have been operating free and clear. And they reluctantly take it, and when they go and send it and process it, the paychecks are clear. They are free and clear. The most I want to say that I've had taken out of a paycheck since understanding to operate free and clear and stop using the fucking social, I think the most may be less than $20, if that. I don't need to make this stuff up, guys. Why you think I created this platform? To share. I want my people to know. So now that makes it to where when a corporation says they're hiring, what fear do I have? Other than, and it's not really fear, because I understand. Fear is generally lack of knowledge of some sort, I would imagine, right? But the only fear that I have is I'm going to have to school these modern Europeans, or these Albions. I'm going to have to school them a little bit, and I don't want to do that just to work here or be under a contractual agreement for 90 days. You know, because that's generally all you're going to get out of me is 90 days. I'm not going to be your slave for 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, be so proud of it, tell the new training group, oh yeah, I've worked here for 4 years and that's the job for me. As long as your ass is sitting there giving all your energy and your sweat and you're contracting with Internal Revenue and you're doing everything they say and they're handling your motherfucking ass badly and banging you upside your head and taking hundreds of dollars out of each check, you're not free. You want to be free. If you're going to exist as accurate as possible and as free as possible. That's real talk, people. Why every time I try to get on the line, somebody always want to call me, man? I'm going to have to get back at y'all. Peace and love.